Hey guys, and welcome to another set in the Pro League. This is going to be MBC Game Hero versus SK Telecom. Initially, we've got Fantasy versus Hyun, or Hyun, or I don't quite know how you say his name, but it's Hyun. Hyun is going to be the green Zerg, and Fantasy is going to be the... Okay, apparently the colors were not what I thought they were. But Hyun's going to be the Zerg, and Fantasy is going to be the Terran. Looks like Fantasy is purple. Hyun is in green. Okay, I'm not crazy. Fantasy is the purple Terran. And looks like Hyun is going to be in the upper left. Fantasy is in the upper right. So we got neighboring positions here. And it does look like that Overlord is going the right way initially, so Fantasy's position is not going to be confusing for very long. So we should have a pretty good game here. Not gonna lie, I think Fantasy is probably the better player between the two. Hyun is, oh, he's not like Hyuk. He's not like Hyuk, where I know him to be a bad player, but he's, nothing really stands out about him. While Fantasy is, I won't say he's a fairly good Terran. He's not like Flash level. He's not one of those that, I honestly think has a chance to like take a MSL or anything, but he's decent. He's certainly taken down greats before. So singing purposes, we are at 108, 109, 110, and we have a spawning pool going out down before expansion, so we might have some early pressure here coming from Hyun. Generally speaking, there's only two real Zerg builds anymore. There is, well, actually, I guess three. You have, the question of does the pool come before expansion, and or do they try to early expand, or do they have a production expansion, which is just whenever they make their um, what am I trying to say? Whenever they make their hatchery in their actual base, so it's not for mining, it's just so they can make stuff faster. This was StarCraft 2, it'd be, do they make a queen and just, blah larva everywhere? I guess spew larva. But okay, they did send a very early drone out. They're trying to find Fantasy quickly, so he is trying to go down. And he did have a spawning pool significantly before that barracks came down, although the distance is going to make... Ooh, that's sneaky. This is going to make it so that there should be at least a Marine out, but a Marine versus 6 Zerglings is not going to do very well. And there comes the Zerglings now. If you saw that, Hyun actually pulled his Overlord back as soon as he saw that barracks. He does not want to know Fantasy knows where he is yet. So Fantasy right now is thinking, okay, well, no scout yet. I probably don't have any early pressure, and Fantasy would be wrong. Fantasy is also scouting the wrong direction. He's going to figure out where Hyun is here in a second, because once those Zerglings hit his door, yeah. He's going to be like, well, that's too quick to be the other way, and they didn't pass my guy. So there came a factory, and there goes a factory. We do have one Marine out, like I said, and a lot of SCVs coming over. So this early pressure, he's going to take out the factory, and that was not a canceled factory, I don't think. That was a full-on factory. So the Zerglings are now running past that Marine. I mean, took some damage. Looks like one Zergling got around. I didn't see that. And he's resealing the door, but... Ooh, yeah, he's going to do quite a bit of damage before all those Zerglings... So that is a significant number of Zerglings. If you want to know what a significant number is, it's that. Okay, it's down to 4 of them, but there are now 4 Zerglings in his base, and he's losing a lot of mining time now. The Marines are trying... Marines have to be careful, though, because Marines do not stand up against Zerglings very well. Fantasy was pretty smart. He left a couple of his Marines back in order to stop the second wave of Zerglings, and he is slowly taking these guys down. It looks like we're going to have a pincer attack here, and there go the Marines. Well, okay, there goes one of the Marines. The other one didn't quite go down. We have another group of Zerglings hitting on that factory. Hey, factory, what are you doing here? Meanwhile, Hyun is taking this pressure, taking the chance to expand. I don't think obviously the Zerglings that are in there will not be able to end it, and I think he's got enough Marines. Maybe he has enough Marines to hold this back. I don't actually know. He might not. But those, because he's going to keep putting pressure on this door, and it looks like he's going to break down this factory again. If he breaks it down, ooh, okay, the factory does actually get up this time. And, wow, there's a lot of Zerglings in the base, and there go the Marines. The Marines are down. That is going to spell disaster for Fantasy. Fantasy's going to have to keep lifting off, and the Zerglings start working on the barracks now. Without his factory can't land for fear of getting killed by Zerglings. There are, no more Marines coming out. It looks like, and both of those buildings are burning down. So if he can't repair them, and he's just got all his SCVs off mining, trying to block the door. So he has a burning down buildings. He's got no effective mining. This is horrible for Fantasy. Fantasy is just, okay, he does fly it up, he's managing to repair them, so this is not the end of the world, but it probably is the end of the game. because he's got no economy. He's got no economy. He's got no troops, and there's Zerglings just running rampant through his base. And it looks like the barracks may have gone down because I sure don't see that barracks anywhere. Which means that, yeah, what he's got is what he's got. He did get a Vulture out, and Vultures do very well against Zerglings. A little bit of Vulture micro, and it's going to be over for these guys. But the problem is, that's all he's got. He's got a Vulture. And, you know, the Zerglings are still managing to do quite a bit of economic harassment while Vulture's trying to run away from them. So, if those Zerglings got speed, this would be over. The only reason that he's still alive at all is because the Zerglings can't quite corner that Vulture. But he's got one SCV, one. And the SCV isn't even mining right now. The SCV is kind of, you know, spectating. So this is, wow. I mean, Fantasy's doing a good job trying to hold this back, but it's not going to happen. I'm sorry to tell him. You know, he's got less than when he begins the game with, practically. He has a factory. And yep, there's the GG. Hyun takes it, an early lead for MBC Game Hero, who are the underdogs in this match. SK Telecom is, you know, I mean, they've got all of the All-Stars, or at least the former All-Stars. Granted, you know, a lot of them, like Bisu, are not at the top of their game right now, but still, I mean, SK Telecom is a powerhouse when it comes to Pro League. But here we go. First game going to MBC Game Hero, so if MBC can take 2 more games off of Telecom, they will take the upset. So, good luck, you crazy flying dragon team. And good job, Hyun. You surprised me. I am impressed. So, we'll go ahead and see you next game, guys. For more Pro League action. Probably should have thought of the end before I started ending it, because that was just sort of, oh, I don't know what I'm going to say. But, alright. See you in a second, guys.
고쳤으면 되는데 그게 밀려나가면서 SCB가 바깥쪽에서 고치는 상황이 만들어졌다라는 거. 이게 정말 정명훈 선수에게는 불운한 일이었죠. 네.
노림수를 들고 나온 이 고석경 선수의 이 첫 번째 경기에서 케어를 잡아냈습니다. SK텔레콤 T1의 최강의 에이스를 잡아냈어요.
그렇죠. 빠른 시간을 잡아냈기 때문에 굉장히 의미가 있죠.
야, 수요일 프로리그 데이 정말 빠르네요. 이 경기 벌써 끝났습니다. 정말 정말 빨리 나왔고요.
10분 됐나요?
10분 정도 된 것 같습니다. 잠시